What is up, everybody? It's Revv time. I wanted to talk about my PRS guitars. Now, recently, Derek and Luke on the Revv live stream did kind of a rundown, or just, they went through a bunch of PRSs that Derek owned, I think some that Luke owned, some that were borrowed. And I'm always chiming in on those live streams, and I did chime in about the guitars that I have. I've got some PRSs, and I thought it might be cool to just do a video, not go crazy in depth, but talk about at least 3 of my PRSs, the ones that are special to me, and just give you guys a brief kind of history and what they are. So, let's start with this one. This one is a McCarty 58. I got it in 2012. It was built to spec for me. So this is, it's from all intensive purposes, for all intensive purposes, it's a McCarty 58. It's got the 5708 pickups in it that I love. There's nothing changed as far as that goes. What was more to spec was obviously the aesthetic. So I had specific aesthetics I wanted for the whole guitar. The top especially, I wanted kind of that fiddleback flame, so the really tight flame thing. I really wanted this kind of root beer finish, which they just nailed. And the back is obviously mahogany. Top is that fiddleback flame maple. Neck is mahogany. None of that's crazy. That's would be typical on a McCarty 58. What wouldn't be typical, one of the things that wouldn't be typical, is the binding on this guitar. The binding is actually, hopefully you can see it in this shot, the binding is actually ivoroid. Now, that didn't go over well when I asked for that, because typically on a beautiful PRS like this with a top like this, they would have the flame maple on the side that would be scraped off or taped off, and that's what the binding would be that beautiful flame maple. But I'm just kind of a sucker for ivoroid binding, and you see it more on acoustic guitars, but especially this kind of yellowed binding, and it's yellowed over the years. I mean, I got this in 2012, but I asked for that, and they very graciously capitulated and did that for me. And as you can see, the neck is bound, and the headstock as well is bound in that kind of ivoroid material, and it's really beautiful ivoroid. It's kind of hard to see, but it's actually got some grain in it that's really, really beautiful. The other thing that did not go over well is I wanted the neck to be blank, the fretboard. The fretboard is rosewood, is beautiful rosewood, but I wanted it to be blank, just to be a little bit more stealthy. I don't have anything against like the birds on PRSs. They're beautiful, but in this case, I just thought it'd be cool to make it stealthy. It does still have dots on the side. Yeah, I'm not that good a guitar player. I need the dots. but yeah, this one's a cool one. As I mentioned before, it's got the 5708 pickups, which I really like. They're really warm. And of course, this one is about as close as PRS gets to like a Les Paul scale length. So it's got that kind of warm, rich thing already. But these pickups are very PAF, but maybe on like on the warmer side. They clean up. I especially like the bridge, but the neck position. That sounds great too. It can get a little bit woolly, but I can also split it. You can hear the hum now, but and from 2012 on, when I got this guitar and I was touring with Carrie, this thing just got used a ton. Especially on that Storyteller tour, it came out a lot. And you can't see it. I mean, it looks really pretty, but it's just massively dinged up. There's belt pack hits in it. There's big dings in it from the going in and out of guitar boats and just really fast changes. But yeah, this is one of them. This is a cool one. There's this one, which is This one is a 2010 Grissom. So if you're not familiar with David Grissom, he's amazing. This is actually the guitar that got me into checking out PRS guitars. At the time, I was using, I think at the time when I first got the Carrie gig, I had a James Tyler that I loved, and I had, believe it or not, I had a Hamer Monaco Elite, which is like a single cut Les Paul style guitar, and I really dug that. And it was the PRS reps were actually coming around, and I always thought they were great guitars, but I just didn't really gravitate towards them. There was just something that was not a fit for me until I was at actually an awards show, and I picked up a guitar that looked really interesting in a rack because they were there with the guitars for other artists, and it just happened to be a David Grissom model guitar, and I picked it up because I was like, well, I like Dave Grissom. And it just turned out to just be a really nice guitar, like a really nice fit. The neck shape and everything is killer. This one is longer scale. So this one, this one is 2010. So this is a pretty early one. They've gone through some changes. I'm not familiar, honestly, with all of them. This is before they kind of made some changes on the nitro finish. Like this one, the finish is chipping here and there. I mean, it doesn't bother me. It still sounds killer. But yeah, this is longer scale. This would be closer to like a Strat scale guitar. So it's a lot, it's you'll hear right away, even with these pickups, because these are Dave's spec pickups. It's a lot, I would say, brighter. Has that kind of angrier top end. Now this one's bone stock. I didn't have anything done to it. This is exactly what it would be like in 2010. The pickups, as I mentioned, they're definitely unique. They're hotter than I'm used to. They have a PAF element to them, but there's a little bit more going on there. They do split really nicely. So that's a back position split now. Neck position split. This one got used a ton when I was touring with it too, and it's really beat up. But same thing, it's kind of hard. You won't notice it so much in these pictures, but this one's been through the ringer, and it's got a lot of like war wounds, but it's been a really really great guitar. Because I'm such a Strat player, I guess that's why I gravitate to this one a bit too, because it is longer scale, so it just feels a bit more comfortable. I like this one for clean tones as well. So yeah, it's another, one of my faves that I've had for a long time. Really great guitar. Really blessed to have it. Oh, if you're wondering, I'm using my Revv D20. I guess you can't see it, can you? Well, you can kind of see it there. I'm using my Revv D20 with my pedal board. You're hearing all the drive sounds are coming from my tilt overdrive. When I switched to that clean tone, I actually turned on the boost side of my tilt overdrive and turned off the drive side. So that's the kind of clean embellishment. The reverb and delay you're hearing is from my Timeline and my Big Sky. Okay, so there's one last guitar. This one has only been on the Opry stage with Carrie. That's why I acquired it, is because when I was out on the road with her, we would come home for like Opry dates, and my guitars would not be around. They're all on the truck. So I had, you know, certain guitars that were out on the road, and then other guitars that were at home with me so that I could use them for things like Opry dates. And this is definitely one of them. This is a hollow SE 245. This one was pretty much made to spec because I wanted a hollow guitar, but I didn't want any gadgetry on it. So they ended up building me this. I wanted the bourbon finish. I definitely wanted the beautiful, once again, super tight kind of flame top on it. Same thing with the binding. It's got Ivoroid binding. It's got really simple dots on it, just like this, the Grissom did. Now the Grissom, a lot of them have birds, like I talked about. That one actually has what's called half moon dots. These are really straight ahead, what I would consider like vintage or like white dots or chalk, whatever you want to call them. This guitar is really cool. It's light. The neck on this one is the biggest of the three, but it's still really comfortable. It kind of has that almost like, I don't know, 58 kind of Paul thing, but maybe with a little more shoulder. It's kind of hard to articulate, but yeah, this one has not been through the ringer because it's only been on Opry stages. So with the Grand Ole Opry, there's, you know, not a lot of craziness going on. You pretty much bring one guitar out, you carry it out, you carry it back. So in this case, you know, I handled this the whole time. Not that my guitars were mishandled by techs. It's just out on the road, things are a lot crazier. So this one, so we heard the Grissom pickups, we heard 5708s. This one actually has the 5815 pickups in it. And I wasn't at all specific about what I wanted pickup wise in this. And they turned out to sound great. They're like in between the two guitars. So it's a little bit brighter, a little bit more kind of stringy, very PAF to me. But yeah, there's this stringiness to it that's that's really cool. And this one actually does, I don't know if you can see there, actually does have my name on it, which was really cool. And Paul actually signed the back of it, and it does say custom built for Shawn Tubbs, so that's crazy. I got this in 2015. And if I didn't mention, it is a mahogany back, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, really dark rosewood fretboard. It's really beautiful. And I like this wraparound bridge. Now on my McCarty, I've got the wraparound, and I love it. And I'm not going to change it because it does intonate really well. But it's nice to have a wraparound that does have the movable saddles. And PRS has been nailing that type of hardware. They're just killing it. The one thing I still kind of screw up on this guitar is on like a Les Paul, this is your front, this is your back. But on this guitar, the way Paul Reed Smith did it, this is your front, this is your back. So it's kind of it messes me up every time I had to think about what I was doing just to turn down the treble pickup. But anyways, I think these split. Do they? Yeah, they do. So that's the back split. So same thing, if I turn that off and go clean, it's almost like a Telecaster. Same with the neck position split. So they split really great. And of course, the drive on them is killer. Back position. Neck position. That's split. They they back off really well. So cool. I just wanted you guys to check out these 3 guitars. I'm really proud of all 3 of them. They're absolutely beautiful. I'm crazy blessed to have them. But yeah, let me know, what PRSs do you guys have? Do you like PRSs? Some guys are just not down with PRS guitars. But I am. I think they're great. And I as I mentioned before, I wasn't into them until I had tried that Grissom model. And I think they're building just really, really fine instruments. This isn't like an endorsement. It's whatever. And that's why I want to know. It's like, what do you guys, what do you guys think of PRSs? And like I said, let me know if you are a PRS owner and which ones you have and how you use them. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you next time.